Welcome to the patio.
I saw a man rob a bank when I was 10. No, I didn't see the wrong kind. Of wish that I was him. I grew up, thought was living in my head. Figured the life that I was living, I'd be better off dead.
Welcome to the patio, Pationians.
Welcome.
Brothers and sisters of the patio. We're back intact tonight. DW's
not
back.
everybody identifies as men and women.
But what's that got to do with brothers and sisters of the patio?
Well, I mean, if you're a they or them, you might not be a brother or sister.
I'm a thus.
You're thus.
Since you're jumping out there at Fortenberry, how are you today, Fortenberry?
Spectacular.
Wow, that's impressive.
Actually, no, I'm just
Jamie came in talking about he's taking it light on the drinking and fisting a bottle of monkey shoulder.
Yeah, look, I've been trying to cut back on my drinking a little bit. I'm trying to lose a little bit of belly fat.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think bourbon's contributing to your belly fat.
No, it's my beer.
That's not a bourbon. That's a scotch.
It is scotch. It's
So,
my beer.
speaking of scotch, you look kind of like a leprechaun over at night, Gary. How is my leprechaun buddy doing this evening?
Comment, man.
You had me at hello.
I didn't take you for the country and western fan, but
That wasn't country. That was Jerry Maguire. What are you talking about?
you had me from hello.
That's a song.
You had me at hello.
That was Mark McGuire.
Yeah, they copied off Jerry Maguire on that one. That was a movie with Tom Cruise
Okay.
and Renee Zellweger.
DW back
Back
from the
when she was
ATL. If you guys will notice tonight, DW's actually got a decent camera in front of him. The camera quality may be good. Don't know how long it'll last because we got to send his cell phone back in. But DW, how are you this evening?
Apparently good, man. You told me this is the best I've ever looked.
You look
Be
awesome.
looking extra like sexy today or something.
It is the best you've ever looked.
Thank you.
I can see
The
the screen.
best.
Well, thank you.
You're not even blurry today.
I told you all legends
fuzzy.
are blurry like
Fuzzy.
Bigfoot. I
He's
must
not
not be a
fuzzy.
legend. I'm still fuzzy some places.
So
And chin.
Tuesday night.
It's about all, man.
So did you guys even listen to the State of the Union address?
I did.
Nope.
You did.
I
Bits and
did.
pieces.
You listened live or did you listen?
No, I listened to it. I didn't listen to it live. I listened to a recording, and there was a few things that shocked me.
Well, I listened to it live. I watched it. I watched actually another YouTuber. You know, we're YouTubers. You believe that?
We're YouTubers?
It was
wow.
yeah, we
Ooh.
are really. I didn't think about it right now,
Dang.
but I watched another YouTuber, Tim Pool, somebody I like to listen to. And prior or during the State of the Union, the actual script, is that the right word?
Yes.
Yes.
It got released.
Got released, and you could follow along and read ahead, even though Joe would like.
I bet that was what was in the Corvette glove box.
The
He
top of the
wrote a
script.
speech in the Corvette and stuck it in the glove box.
It may have been on Epstein Island for all we know, but it was
Were the pages stuck together?
No, I don't know.
oh, that's the wrong one.
We're gonna have to.
I thought that was a
I'm about to
solid
label those.
joke.
I
think
can't
it was-
remember.
I
Well,
think
I
it was
know
both.
that's why I was trying to give you.
I didn't
some
even get a
tips.
laugh out of Jamie though.
No, you got a conspiracy out of it.
You always laugh
he
at the
laughed.
I
perverse.
chuckled.
Yeah.
But
So what did you take from that? What was the
okay, so here's the first thing.
What was
All
the biggest shock for you?
I
guess?
want to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of State of the Union addresses. Okay, but the one thing I expect to see at a State of the Union address is some civility. I expect it to be someone that looks stately, someone presenting this is the state of the country, this is what has happened, and where we're going.
Let me ask you a question.
You raise your
You
hand.
expect it to represent our country, but be civil?
Yes, and to hold on, but to look like you should be there. Look, I don't know if maybe this is the new norm since Trump was in office, because I know it kind of started at that point. But I remember it actually being a boring speech.
Yeah.
Right? The thing, you could predict what was going to be said. You could predict how it was going to be said,
Yeah,
even without the script.
I think Biden was probably not Biden, but Obama was probably the most put together looking of the last couple.
Well,
we've
but you
had,
could
right?
probably say that
Yeah.
George W. at least looked stately.
He
People
was
didn't agree with him.
articulate and well spoken.
He was, yeah.
You know,
But now
According
we
to Biden.
look more like the UK Parliament.
Well, I mean, and Trump's was just awesome because you didn't know what he was going to say.
oh, yeah.
Well, but is that not when it started to really go downhill?
Well,
because our Congress and the State of the Union was people around the world looked at it as these people are leading the free world.
Well, I blame.
Not anymore, folks. Not anymore.
We talk about Trump, bringing it down. It seems like it's gone downhill since then, but I think it was all started.
I'm not sure it's Trump's fault.
I don't think it was Trump's. I think it was Fancy Nancy's fault when she decided to tear up the script.
You just love you some Fancy Nancy.
Before you say that, though, if you remember,
I know Jamie's going to defend Fancy Nancy. He likes
normally
that.
Gary.
I think
the
she's
Scottishman.
She's the hottest
Scotsman.
old person in America right now.
Depends on how you classify old, but go ahead.
That same speech. If you remember, he walked up, and she would have shaken his hand. He turned it back to her.
I remember that.
Well, that's what
So
she
I mean,
gets.
but I'm not personally.
petty.
I don't hate it being like Parliament. But so, what did you take from the speech, though?
That's okay. So let's get into
that.
that. So he wants to preach about unity, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to preach about unity, that we've got to come together and agree. But it's the same crap we're getting from the media. As long as you agree with me, we're going to be unified. But at the same time, he was trashing the people who had opinions that differ than his, meaning the Republicans. This is just more of the same that we have out here on Twitter. We have anywhere where either you align with me or we're enemies.
So when do y'all think that the State of the Union changed from like the State of the Union, what it's supposed to be is stating how the union is doing, it's essentially a summary of what's going on, to a campaign speech?
I think that happened last year.
I think it's been that way.
Isn't it early though? Isn't
quite
it
a while.
early? Isn't it okay? That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It
But
should
isn't it
almost-
really early to be? Because normally this is the year before the election or of the election.
This should almost be like a meeting for America.
An
Right?
update.
That's what it
an
is.
Update
That's
where
what it should be.
Yeah.
Because it used to not be televised. What is the State of the Union?
As I sit there and listen to it, a lot of his speech was, "This is what I'm going to do. This is what we're trying to do. This is the plan." That's not a State of the Union.
That's a campaign.
That's a campaign. Now, personally, for me, the biggest shock was seeing Kamala's husband mouth kiss.
Okay,
Joe
I was
Biden.
going to bring that up too.
Whoa.
That was a strong mouth kiss.
Mask be damned. That was a strong mouth kiss.
We
that
still
not
had
weird?
a mask
If they-
on.
No,
if
they
the-
didn't.
If Kamala had COVID, he got COVID now. I'm going to tell you that.
But was
Yes.
that not weird?
It was.
Yes.
It's very weird.
It reminded me of when
there was
Tom
some
Brady
other-
kissed his son on the
The
mouth.
only way it'd be a little bit more weirder is if Joe Biden was behind him and
Smell his hair.
smelling his hair.
Or if he turned around and gave Kamala a big smooch.
Joe
no, a big
Biden was
smell.
smelling everybody
He
when he
was-
was on the campaign trail.
Did you see him making his way to the podium? He looked frail. He looked old. When he was up there talking, he gave no sense of confidence.
Did you see him grab the woman by her face and then she pulled his hands away?
No, I missed it.
Yeah. He reached up, grabbed her by her face, and she had to like take his hands and move them.
So freaking
He
strange,
he
man.
said thinner.
You
But-
can't make this shit up, this world that we're currently in.
But one of the things I noticed in his speech was it felt like and it sounded like he took a lot of Republican points and tried to take them as his own.
But isn't that how it normally works?
Yeah.
That you can take the same points and turn it as a negative
So,
or positive and turn it how you want it.
Insulin at $35. That was Trump. That
No,
was,
it didn't have anything to do with it.
yeah, that was Trump's thing. Talking about he's here to support
Vaccines
the,
for all? Oh, no, he
well,
didn't bring that up.
he
did
to support the oil industry. You know, he made that comment twice.
And then he talked
But-
about. He
but
said
since
nearly.
when?
He said,
since
I mean, you were
Yeah.
shutting down oil companies, right? We put a pipeline basically out of business.
I mean, if I'm
at
not
one
mistaken, he
point,
was in
put all the-
Pennsylvania and said, I want to shut the oil
Yeah,
industry
we're all
down.
EV.
Oh, but he really backed off of that
Yeah.
once he was called out on it. But yes,
You can't shut it down.
And then he said nearly record employment of
unemployment.
people.
Record low
Low
unemployment.
employment. Nearly record. You know who had the record?
Trump. But when you say nearly, it just
Well,
Yeah.
but unemployment, like most figures today, I'm not sure they speak of the whole truth. They speak of the whole truth.
They don't. Now they remove people that have been on unemployment for so long, they remove them from the list.
If you're not looking, like Gary,
Yep.
you should probably be listed as an unemployed person.
I should be, but I'm not looking.
But
so.
you're not looking.
heck
so
yeah,
you're
I'm gonna be
not.
kind of unemployed. I'll be
Yeah.
part-time, full-time
Yeah,
employed.
the same difference there. You're not looking, but you're working.
No,
on your own.
he's essentially a small business owner.
Yeah,
That's what I am.
Yeah, I mean, your business doesn't necessarily have a storefront, but you're a small business owner.
and a YouTube,
A YouTuber,
YouTube.
yeah.
And I mean, honestly, what I'm going to, I'm a contractor.
he might be a
I do
red
contract
tuber. You red tuber?
What's a red tuber? So there were some other fireworks taking place last night at State of the Union. George Santos.
Gary, I'll make a cameo in an episode called Big and Small.
Mitt Romney called out George Santos. You guys familiar with how bad this story's getting with George Santos?
This is an honest question. Why is it such a big deal?
I think it's only a big deal because the guy is apparently there's nothing true about anything that he has portrayed as
He's not even a real person.
So he's real similar to Joe Biden.
Who is this?
George Santos.
He's lied about everything.
He was nominated. What
New
district?
York. New York. Somewhere in New York.
Yeah, George Santos backed himself as one of the coveted. He got an aisle seat, and Romney basically told him, said, "You shouldn't even be here." He called him an ass who does not belong in Congress.
He called him an ass who?
An ass. Just
who
does
just
not
say,
belong
first
in
of all,
you ought to be embarrassed.
Zero respect for Mitt Romney. If you're a Mormon, you're not talking like
You're
that.
not supposed to say ass.
If you're a Mormon, you're not.
Mitt's a pretty cool name though.
Yeah, but he's a piece of shit. Is
But
what
look,
he is.
you can't do anything about this guy. I mean, he got elected by his electorate, I guess. Constituents.
From
That's what-
lies.
Is you ain't my constituent.
He got elected to a congressional position, and it is what it is. Now, they
I
can
mean,
vote him
he-
out next time,
Yeah.
but
Not this time. He's
but not
there,
this
right?
time.
Look,
And
I
apparently,
get-
there's nothing. No one really knows who the hell this guy is.
I get the fact that he lied to get in here the whole time, but apparently he's a politician.
And most politicians lie.
Why is Biden lying about his education, his history, his
He really doesn't have to anymore. He's reached
No.
the pinnacle of his career, the pinnacle of his life. He's what, 80? He'd be 80 real soon.
Yeah, I think he's 79.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be better if he just came out and told the truth, or does he not remember?
I
the
mean,
truth?
once you
can't handle the truth.
Once you hit
I
the
can't.
point of presidency and you get that title, they're going to protect you at all costs anyways. That's like Trump getting prosecuted. I just don't think it's going to happen. You think we're going to let the whole, U.S. had a president that got prosecuted? It just looks bad overall.
Not just that, but regardless what they think of
You know what's
Trump,
really
they're all
sad?
in the same club.
What's really sad is you have to live this life of politics. That what we really need is just a common person with good decision making and
AOC?
business skills.
She's not common.
She should probably just start one of them OnlyFans things.
She'd be real popular there.
It may be my first subscription, but
Look like an owl.
An owl, like a
Yeah, with
horse.
the googly eyes.
Yeah, look.
but like just imagine a common person in the White House making common sense decisions. I understand that's a huge job. It's probably over most people's heads because you don't realize
a common
what's dealt
person
with.
will never be in that position because you have to have such an ego.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Though? A person with a common person's mentality, like a level field where we're not really worried about politics. We're just trying to make the honest, best decision for America. Where is that president?
In the president?
It doesn't exist.
That's 200 years
yeah,
ago.
it doesn't
Well,
exist.
the only way it exists in the future is that we are no longer have the current two-party system, that there's been drastic changes, that there's basically
So what's
probably the split
what's
up
the
of United
middle at
States.
this point? What's the middle?
The middle, I believe, is most of America.
What do you think the
most of
middle
America-
political point is?
It's not.
Libertarian would be about as middle,
Maybe.
middle
But
as it
even
gets.
but it's
then,
still not.
It's still not. I believe that most people are non-party conformists. Ooh, that sounded
Conformists.
cool, didn't it? I think that we tend to listen to news outlets or news from one side or the other, but while also our beliefs are somewhere in the middle. It's probably a mixture of the two. There's in no world do we spend all of our time on either side of this out. The mainstream media.
Most America does, and I think there are people that are extremely right and extremely left.
Well,
probably
sure.
even-
Yeah, there's extremes.
But they're the loudest too. And independent media like YouTubers like us
Yep.
are what people are going to. CNN has the lowest ratings they've had in 20 years. They have like 40,000 people a day watching that.
So
program. And it's
essentially, what
mostly
it
live
takes
news.
is moderate conservatives and moderate liberals coming together and telling the others to piss off.
Well, but what it takes
with a two-party system, that will never
it
happen.
will never
happen.
But
Never
what it
happen.
takes is freedom of speech, and right now that is a problem. The media
is.
that you get from whether it be YouTube, which we're on, whether it be the podcast that we do, the airwaves, is filtered. There's proof. Like Elon Musk buying Twitter is the worst
so
thing could
much
ever
filtered.
happen
Yeah.
for the left because it tells you how much it's being filtered. And it's a far cry of what was probably filtered out 40 years ago where the left voice was being filtered.
Yep.
I mean, freedom of speech is important because it allows people to develop their own views. And we can't argue, we can't have a civil dispute or discussion about things. And that's why some of these shows where they do have people that can express those views, articulate those views, without having some type of major conflict are doing well. And the news channels
the problem
are not.
is now when people argue or discuss, they feel like they have to win.
Yeah. Why can't we just disagree?
Yeah, why can't you tell your who remembers watching Crossfire?
What
Man,
like
my grandparents sit there and watch Crossfire. To me, as a child, it sounded like just a bunch of old people arguing.
I think there was a game back in the day
that's what I
called
said.
Crossfire. We had the
Not
two.
Crossfire.
That's
You
the only thing I
remember,
can
you know what I'm
think of.
talking about though? That game was freaking
had
awesome.
the star and the triangle
Yeah, it
thing?
shot little BBs.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead,
All right,
James.
go.
No, I mean,
That was
They
a
need
fun
to
game.
bring that mess back. Though.
That
That
was-
was an awesome game.
Well, they still have the Crossfire show, right?
I was going to say the
CNN.
game. I was going to go buy
Nobody
one.
watches it
Oh.
because they're still so far left, and they want to build everything toward that ideology. I think we're going to see over the next decade that YouTube, and if it can get away from its filtering and change it left, or there'll be some media outlet that truly becomes free speech. Now, if we have an EMP that blasts and destroys all of the internet stuff, who knows what the hell happened? Probably go back to shortwave radio, but
I don't think we can ever do that until we get rid of the words misinformation and disinformation.
Mike Tyson will be sending messages via pigeon. Yeah,
So-
okay.
he's ready to go.
So Joe Biden, he didn't clap and point to any balloons across the sky, but this balloon continues to get quite a bit of news.
How do you not even talk about the balloon?
Because he wrote that speech 3 weeks ago before the balloon exists.
So, have y'all heard the flat Earth theory on the balloon?
No, not flat Earth.
No, not at all.
So I read this today. So it's actually not China spying, right? All these balloons have been coming down different places. So they're saying it's spy balloons to cover up the fact that the Earth is flat and there are no real satellites in space because there's a firmament and it's water and we can't break through it. So space shuttles are sent up to try to break through the firmament, right? But all the satellites we know aren't actually in space floating around. They're actually floated around by balloons. And since they were all put up around about the same time, now they're all coming back down.
Helium's run out.
Which is why we're having disruptions in things
So-
like
That's an insane
airlines
idea,
and
yeah.
all these other things.
So China actually has a secret base
Flat
that
Earth.
only handles spy balloons. Did you know that?
Apparently, it's highly
Look,
effective.
why do people act like spy balloons are a new thing?
Yeah, I mean it's.
No.
But I mean, they're
Well,
really
they're
hard
probably
to detect.
more effective today than they ever have been.
Well,
and
they're-
probably because of the satellites that don't really exist allows them to do real-time data. And they can control them real-time, just like we will control drones in the Middle East from a base in Nevada.
But do you know, at one time we tried to drop a bunch of bats out?
Yep.
Yeah, that's World War II. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Bats out of a balloon?
no,
Well, they
basically
were-
a bat bomb.
yeah, they were in a device that
Yeah.
would drop open above Japan, since Japan was mainly in wooden structures, and the bats had incendiary devices attached to them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the bats were basically
I was about to
flying.
ask, are we talking about like vampire bats or like baseball bats?
Baseball bats. There was baseball bats with
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
there was There's little
They were
Japanese
dropping
kids running
there
around
were
with
baseball
dots in their head.
bats
Yeah.
flying out everywhere.
Hey,
So-
that's pretty dangerous though.
China officials have not spoken to U.S. counterparts since the destruction of the balloon, but
Can you believe
apparently
the-
it's a major part
Can
of
you believe the audacity for them to get upset about getting their balloon shot down?
Oh yeah, but it veered off course though.
Well, but how many times has
It
the
veered off course,
Well, now I
Jeremy.
heard that they were controlling where it goes.
Oh, they were.
And
well, you haven't seen the it veered off course thing.
no,
No, it's hard to sell
How many
that one.
thousands of miles? What were you looking at?
Oh. Every time I've released a balloon in the atmosphere, I've never been able to control
so
it.
for like the past 5 or 6 years, I guess that they've just told everybody, "Oh, this is a weather balloon that randomly floated off. Don't worry about it." And it's worked, and now it doesn't work anymore. So you know what that really means? We knew what that was.
Yeah, we knew what it
we've
was.
been
We've
knowing
known
about it.
about it, but the fact that we've now decided to acknowledge it and do something about it, what does that really say?
I think it actually hit a point where it was low enough, and people were like, "What the?"
It's
crap
because
is this?"
Americans saw it. That's why.
But what does that say? Is that really testing our our relationship with China. I mean, it's really at a point that
I think we're at the point where we're so dependent on them, they're so dependent on us for different things
disagree.
that we're in a.
I don't think we're near as
stalemate.
dependent on them as people.
I mean, look, where do they get most of their food?
they get it from
America.
us.
America.
Comes from here.
Yeah.
90%.
Now we get a lot of creature comforts from them, right? Like microchips.
That comes
and
from
this
Taiwan.
And that kind of.
That's a lot of reason why they want to take over
There's
Taiwan.
still some,
I was thinking of Germany.
So if
but
you
that kind of stuff probably keeps them out of there too.
now our food bot comes from them. You know, like Fubu is for us by
Food Bot?
Asian kids.
Yeah, Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, our
Well-
tennis shoes come from them.
What we what we gonna
Are
do?
we going to
I mean,
tell our kids World War III started over a balloon?
I mean, LeBron
Nah.
gets all his shoes from there.
Sure does. But
The,
from my
the goat.
from my understanding, China is one of one of the countries with the most amount of imports. You know, they import
Yes.
energy, import food.
They're the largest
Did anybody
importer
else?
in the
when you
world.
depend on a lot of people, it's hard to go out and run off and start full on.
I don't think they'll go rogue.
I don't either.
They can't.
Now,
look,
but we're not saying we're not in that same position where we don't depend on other
No,
countries.
U.S. can be self-sufficient. They can.
We
Yeah.
can if we choose to.
If
be.
we
Yeah, if
choose
we
to open
weren't
up our own energy,
Morons.
we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Jamie, we know about his love for Iran and the nuclear family that exists there. We got another place where the nuclear family is strong, North Korea. Kim Jong-un's nuclear family, North Korea dictator, brings his daughter to a military event as he warns the world will never ditch his nukes or allow his family to be stripped of power. So that's probably some good values.
It was bring your daughter to work day.
It's bring your daughter to work day. He's brought his daughter to visit.
Does
troops
she
to
have to
mark
have the same haircut he does?
75th
There's only
founding
like
anniversary.
6 approved haircuts
Yeah.
in the entire country or something.
I'd love to be a barber there. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, you just specialize, right?
Yeah.
He gives you some rice or some mess for cutting hair.
Her name's actually Kim Ju-A.
Are you surprised?
Believed to be 9 or 10 years old, stood with her father as he shook the hands of senior officials. They say Kim's decision to bring his daughter to public events tied to his military is to remind the world that he has no intentions to surrender his nuclear weapons. No, he's going to send them in
Look,
a big
man,
blaze of glory towards the United
These
States.
are pretty modern times, and to live in a country where you
She
were
looked just like him.
born and you knew absolutely nothing. Can you imagine knowing nothing about the outside world? Can you
bet
imagine
she
what
does.
those people there go through?
I bet she does.
I bet
she'll
she
probably
has
she'll
access
probably
to all
study
of it.
abroad.
Yeah, because he did.
Nah,
right?
he watches freaking probably DirecTV and crap.
Oh yeah, she's got access to Google.
Them googly eyes.
But think about the common person there that knows nothing about the outside world. I guarantee you there are those people there.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, most of the country has no idea. They still believe
And-
that he has magical powers. And
Well, and they honestly
And he doesn't-
believe
he
like
doesn't poot.
the free states
what?
he doesn't poop.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, they believe he doesn't have flatulence.
Look, if I was
What?
a dictator, I would want them to
That's
think
like-
I had the most flatulence, the worst.
He gonna die of prostate cancer.
Look, as I've gotten older, if I go into a public restroom and there's somebody else in there, I try to outperform them.
Exactly.
You gotta go.
Yeah, I got to assert my dominance.
That's a challenge now.
Yeah,
Do you have to grunt too when you do it,
if need be.
if need be?
So, Jamie's favorite guy,
I was-
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
The Fauci ouchie.
Yeah, he's cashing in on his COVID fame. You know, he's now charging $100,000 for an hour of motivational speaking.
Oh, get
engagement.
out.
Oh
here.
my gosh.
Yeah, they range from 50 to 100,000 per event.
So I don't even have a problem with that, right? So if Jamie came up tomorrow and said, "Hey, I'm gonna charge $100,000 for me to come give a motivational speech," what worries me is the idiots that pay him $100,000 to come and do a speech at their place. That's what worries me.
Man, there's people that
got-
think he is the science.
Well, that's what I'm about.
Well, he
like,
is a scientist.
No,
But
he
he's
is the
been-
science.
He is
He's been manipulated.
He did,
So check
he
this
did
out.
say he is science.
Dr. Fauci's net worth is estimated at about $12 million. Now, where do you guys think he got all that freaking money from?
I don't know, but I'll fight him
Drug
for
company,
half of it.
Pfizer.
And he can have 2 needles like this.
Well, he is the highest paid. He is the highest paid
Highest paid?
public official.
Not anymore, he retired, but yes, he
Well-
was making almost $500,000, but that takes a long time to get up to 12
Oh yeah, I
million.
mean the money's he has donations and speaking fees, and I mean this has been going on a while. It's just like everybody else. He's crooked.
Or we got to figure out how to be crooked, I guess.
Well, what you got to do is you got to figure out
shoot.
how to get people to pay you to talk, which we're working on here as YouTubers. Matter of fact, if you want to pay us to talk, you go hit the like button, go visit our website. I keep forgetting to talk about it, lifefromthepatio.com. There will be a link in the description below. Go like us, go dislike us. I don't even care if you dislike us, whatever you want to do. But just go give us a comment, something here. Look how good Donnie looks in this video compared to the
If we
previous one.
ever make it big time, we already decided we're gonna have a cruise for all our people.
Yep.
And then if we make it super, super, super big time, we'll make it free.
All right, I'm gonna switch directions a little bit, and this is probably gonna hit home. Especially, this seems like something Fortenberry would be most interested in. Arizona rancher allegedly kills an illegal migrant who repeatedly crossed the border. A cattle rancher has been charged with murder for killing a Mexican man who kept crossing the border illegally.
Why is Jamie most interested in this?
Couldn't sound like something he would do. George Allen Kelly was arrested and charged with first-degree murder over fatally shooting a man identified as a Mexican citizen on January 30th. He's been held with $1 million bail.
Just say $1 million bail.
This Texas?
He's 73. It's Arizona.
Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Arizona. Same
The
thing.
victim, 48-year-old Gabriel Butimea, Queen Butimea, lives south of the border and was carrying a Mexican voter registration card.
A voter registration card. What?
Yeah, that's
They
what it
vote in
says.
Mexico
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
So, was he on his property?
So it said
on his American property.
It
one
oughta-
neighbor told the news that Kelly has had issues with people allegedly trespassing on his property. Officials said it did not appear the two knew each other. They had previously illegally crossed the border as recently as 2016. I guess he just
So
saw
was
it there
he
and started
just
killing him.
on his property, or was he doing something to threaten his
On
life?
the
Yeah,
day
that's
of the incident, Border Patrol received a call from someone who identified themselves as Allen, saying there was a group of people running and that the caller was unsure if he was getting shot at as well. So he thought maybe he was being shot at.
Okay, so he thought someone was attacking him.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, but I mean, this guy's probably going to die in prison. He's 73 years old.
Did he
Big
fear
heart,
for
I
his
guess.
life?
It probably depends on how the laws are written in Arizona. It doesn't really go into details. This
Yeah, I don't know if
article
it's
is
a
from
stand your
the
ground, but I
Daily
would
Caller.
expect it to be.
I think about anywhere, man.
Well,
If you truly fear for your life, like there's an out somewhere if you have a good enough lawyer.
Well, if I'm on my property and a large group of people come up, I'm fearing for my safety.
well, if
I mean,
if
you
they're
are. If they come up and they're like invading your space, you're like, what's going on
well,
here?
if they're coming,
Especially if you have
yeah.
your young children in there. I mean,
So let's flip this a
Anything
minute,
could
though.
happen.
So based on the current policy and the way we're handling the border, what if that man had killed Allen? And would he been released
Oh,
back into Mexico?
yeah, they would have just arrested him for a little bit and then turned him back over. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
there's a big problem with that.
And he'd have crossed the border again.
Yeah, he went right back to Mexico, disappeared, and came back.
Yeah, come over here, pour your sidewalk. I'm not upset about that because I like those guys.
He likes
Yeah.
sidewalks.
They've worked
If
with me
the
for a long
man
time.
wasn't truly attacking this guy,
Well-
though, he probably should not have.
I mean, if he's
killed
just crossing the border, that man had no right to shoot and kill him. Two wrongs don't make a right. You know.
I don't think just because he's walking across
No.
this guy's property gives him the right to shoot him.
No, but if he was imposing upon him or like trying to threaten to enter his household or something like that, or you know,
I mean, I'm not going to
Threatening
shoot you
him.
just because I catch you walking across my backyard at night.
I find it hard to believe that he just randomly sees this guy and just opens fire.
I don't
I
think
do
so
too.
either.
Yeah.
There's probably some history that we're not.
Well, but doesn't
Well, there
but-
doesn't have to be a
but
history.
what
There could
if-
be circumstances with this.
Could
I
be
want to put you in
circumstances.
his spot though. So you're sitting on your patio, and you see day after day these people illegally coming in, messing up your land. At what point does it just percolate and it hits the nerve of this guy? Who says, "I'm not taking this anymore." And maybe he was the innocent guy that didn't tear up anything.
I'm
but-
assuming this guy owns quite
somebody-
a bit of land.
So, but I would see
along the
I would
border.
see this escalating to, hey bud, you did get off my land. Y'all quit coming through here, and a conflict happened, and he shot him.
Maybe.
I mean, you generally and
I think there's a lot to the story we don't know.
Well,
Well,
it sounds like there's a lot that
Because,
nobody
I mean,
knows.
honestly, if I had masses of people crossing my property every night where my family was, I'd
Exactly.
be concerned. Like,
Exactly.
And you said this guy was a farmer or a rancher.
A rancher. He's a
Okay.
rancher. So-
Man, I'd have. I mean,
so he owns a huge property and he has people crossing.
I'd have booby traps all over
All
the
right.
thing.
All right, so this is similar, but it's totally opposite. Or I'm sorry, it's totally different, but there's some similarities. So, 18-year-old pleaded guilty to one count of aiding and abetting first-degree manslaughter in connection to a 2022 murder that was shared to social media. The lady's last name of Young was originally charged with 1 count in connection with the death of a 19-year-old Jager David. Young was charged as an adult. Hold on, I'm trying to see. All she did was apparently she made a comment on the video. Rather than helping the individual, she made a comment. And so police found the video and called local hospitals while eventually finding out that David was unconscious near an apartment building. According to police, the video posted to Facebook showed Davis beating David while a girl was heard commenting in the background. So they heard her commenting, which was proof that she was there on the cell phone video. And now she's being charged for murder.
So that's aiding and abetting?
It's probably, it depends on the comment, I guess. It doesn't go into.
I was gonna say if she was screaming stop, then I mean it kind of.
So is that aiding? She got charged with aiding
That's what she got
and
charged
abetting
with.
and murder?
She got 1 count of aiding and abetting first-degree manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
Yep.
That's a push.
Yeah, probably because she didn't.
But she's been charged, but she hasn't been
but
actually like
Convicted.
no,
convicted
not
of
convicted,
that.
just charged.
she ain't gonna get. She's not gonna get
No, I was
convicted.
saying
of
It
that.
like
probably depends on what she says.
Sounds like they charged. I mean, why? I mean,
Who
manslaughter.
are you aiding and abetting by recording?
Well, she didn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
do you know what
record.
aiding
She
and
didn't
abetting
record.
is? Jamie's a felon. I take him in my house. I hide him.
Yeah, that's aiding and
I
abetting.
tell the cops, "I ain't seen Jamie. I don't know where Jamie is."
That's aiding and abetting.
Then they come back with a warrant. Jamie's in my house. That's aiding and abetting.
So I guess.
Or
initially it
Jamie's
was
sneaking out the
second-degree
kitchen
unintentional
window
murder.
and they catch him running from my house. That's
But-
aiding and abetting.
Does he have to sleep in your bed? Be embedding?
Jamie slept in my bed. I've still at this point probably slept with Jamie in the same bed more than I've slept with my wife in the same bed. And Jamie's the same way. We've been married forever.
So, but
Not me and Jamie.
This is indicative, though, of what's going on with cell phone social media, in that people are seeing things, and they would rather record them than do something about it. I saw where someone did a study. They took a crime baby and placed them like in front of a gas station, and they left the baby, a crime baby,
Oh, I thought
and
you said
then
crime
they
baby.
recorded.
I thought you said a crime baby.
Crying baby.
Crying.
That's exactly what I heard you say.
But then they recorded and they watched how many people walked by, and no one. There was like 10 or 15 people before a mother. It was a mother that came by and picked the baby up and tried to figure out what's going on with the baby. But people are just intent on not necessarily doing the right thing.
Look,
as
I'm
long
all
as it doesn't
for
interfere with
I'm
their-
all for
their doing.
mind your business, right? But if someone's in help now, it won't stop if me helping you puts my family at risk.
No.
If me helping you puts my family at risk, I'm not going to stop for you.
Now, one thing too, and I think this is the story you're giving that may be a caveat to it.
It's a morality thing.
Well, not even a morality thing. How many people are concerned about getting caught up in something that they don't want any part of?
Yeah.
So, I mean, not saying, not that it's, oh, there's a baby in need, but, oh, there's a baby in there crying. There's probably some woman in here that's causing a scene. I feel to pick
Yeah,
the
I
baby
mean-
up and get caught up in something.
You are. I mean, possibly, right? The way things work now. But
yeah.
like I said, I will help you if it's not going to put my family at risk.
Like,
Or now, if you're doing something stupid, if you're a dude on a motorcycle and you're weaving in and out between cars, between lanes, and you crash, I'm not pulling over for you, bro.
did you ever watch the TV show Blackish?
A
No,
little
I know what
bit.
you're talking
watched a
about.
little bit of
Okay,
it,
so
yeah.
like
Did you ever watch Blacklist?
there was a scene where the main character goes to get on the elevator, door opens, there's this little white toddler sitting there, and he just freezes, and he says,
the toddler or the dude?
the dude, the black guy, he says, white child, what are you doing, white child? But he just like freezes because he's like, I want nothing to do with this baby because I want to get caught up in something.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people just are concerned to get involved in situations because
Of all the dumb things that
Yeah.
have happened. If you see, that's
you
like
pick that baby up and go to find help, and then somebody says there's taking my baby
look,
and get shot.
I kid you not, when I was a police officer, on multiple occasions, we can't just point to one demographic or one location or one economical kind of standard with this. We found kids outside their homes at 3:30, 4 a.m. walking
Just
around
walking
and
around.
find them and have to try to figure out who's this kid belonged to.
Do you think it's also got something to do with like everything that you do now is probably being filmed? You know, because anybody now can take a snippet of whatever you're doing, whether you're doing something good or bad, and just take a short 10-second of it and say, "Hey, what he's doing is bad."
Now they got this AI. You can do
that's true.
a deep
fake.
Deep fake.
We do a deep fake.
Like, has anybody heard the video where
What's a deep fake?
Deep fake.
What is it like?
Like, have you seen the video
You
of
can
buying
take-
trash and trans?
Is it
You
like
can
a fake
take
Hail
like
Mary or something?
no, you can take like 2 minutes of video. So and
What is this?
I could take 2 minutes of video of you and upload it to a website.
Yeah.
And within a matter of minutes, they can have your voice saying anything I want it to. Or do
Yeah,
anything
I mean now
want it
there
Okay,
are points
it
where
takes my
we
inflections and whatnot.
look.
Okay.
You can download a simple app and make a baby talk. Basically, whatever you type in at this point, it shows their mouth moving and all this stuff.
I mean, there was a movie years ago called Look Who's Talking.
That's a great movie.
Look,
Bruce Willis.
I forgot about Look Who's Talking. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was awesome too.
It was.
It was.
She died recently. What was her name? Kirstie Alley. She was.
Yes, she did.
She did.
Really?
Recently.
All right,
Yeah,
so
back in December.
Let's move into sports.
Yeah, Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, because then I got to come. We're going to close out talking about World War III.
She
but let's
died
talk about
recently.
sports.
Let's
Well, we're
move
gonna
into
talk about
sports.
We're going to talk about the GOAT.
The
Yeah,
go-
we're gonna talk
oh
about
yeah.
freaking
So,
real
let's talk about
well,
the GOAT. Yeah.
so hold on. Which goat are we talking about? Michael Jordan.
Bro, don't
The
even,
only-
Terry. You're too big of a
Michael
man for me to
Jordan.
try to fight you, bro. You're gonna hurt me.
Yeah,
Michael
but-
Jordan.
Don't
but-
even say LeBron.
You don't talk about Michael Jordan, the goat.
But
Yes.
LeBron, he sat down and said, "I'm clearly the greatest basketball player that's ever
Oh,
lived."
get out of here.
Did he
There,
really
there
say
are
that?
two people.
I hope he didn't say that.
There are two people
He's a scoring leader
That
of all
could-
time.
Oh my gosh.
that could claim it. That had the killer mentality.
I would put
say
LeBron.
there's 4.
I'd put LeBron as third
Third.
on my list.
He wouldn't even be third on mine. But
I put him 4. I put LeBron 4.
I put him
who's your
5.
third?
My
I
third,
put him 5.
Kevin Garnett.
Ooh.
See, y'all are
But
leaving
my
out
third's Bird.
the guy that he just beat out. For a
Okay,
point.
so I don't hate either one of y'all's thirds.
Kareem
I still think
Abdul-Jabbar is number
Kareem.
3.
I still think
that guy was
Kareem's
so
3.
dominant. Wilt's got to be in there too.
Okay, hold on. That is true.
It's true.
I think LeBron maybe 5 or 6.
I
I
take
think
LeBron. I
6.
take LeBron over Wilt.
Now we're talking about a lot of stuff going on, right?
Boy, I don't know
And
that man.
And now what we're discussing, we're talking about prime. We're talking about their.
I know. I would take LeBron over Wilt.
All right, but here's where I look at it and say, okay, who's the GOAT? If I'm playing 2-on-2 with somebody, with another team, and I got to pick another guy, and if I lose, I die. Who am I picking? I'm picking Jordan, no doubt.
Look, my top 5. Then I'll go Jordan, Kobe.
Yep,
Bird.
you said it right.
Exactly. Bird's arguable, but yeah.
That's arguable, but
Well,
like
you
we
just
ain't
said,
gonna disagree.
I'm not
either.
gonna disagree.
Jabbar.
Yeah, Jabbar, and then I go LeBron.
Yeah, but it's Jordan and Kobe, and Jordan and Kobe. Reason why they're up there because they're killers. Like
They're
what
killers.
Dude,
They're
killers.
snipers.
Yeah, they're snipers.
I think the only person that has any claim to the GOAT status outside of Jordan is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
And not his
Yeah.
death, none of that. If Kobe was alive to this day, that would
He's
be
a
the
stone
only
cold
person.
killer, man.
He did mimic Jordan.
He did.
And a lot of the stuff he did, but he proved it, man. He had the work ethic.
But if
he
you-
had
The thing is-
had that thing that is just great.
We forget.
just amazing.
We forget about some of the older people though. Like even
even Elgin Baylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he's really in the
No,
conversation.
but he's
for
still
these
like
other
a
guys.
great player. Like we forget
Yeah, I mean,
about all
well, I
these
mean,
old
that's
school
top,
guys.
I mean, if we'll go top 50, we can get a lot of them in there. But when
Yeah.
you're talking about your top 5 all time, I mean, Shaq could be in that conversation.
Oh,
Now,
not
Shaq,
top 5, no.
Nah, Shaq's not top 5.
yeah.
No, if you
Top
talk
10, top
if you
10.
talk
I'll go
top
top 10.
5, like maybe all time centers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean you guys Shaquille.
Shaq was an absolute beast.
He
But
wa- he
during
was.
his time, Kareem.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'd take David Robinson over Shaq.
Nah, I take Shaq all day.
I'd take David Robinson.
Take
not,
Shaq.
not
Big
prime,
fundamentals?
Not
No,
prime.
that's Duncan.
Not prime. Shaq.
Tim Duncan.
Yeah, that's Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan was
Nah,
I
I
never
want
cared for
big
That's the
push
Admiral.
push you through the court floor.
Yeah.
Now in today's NBA, Shaq probably is not as dominant, but that's the reason the rules are what they are.
They call
Only
him every time
but-
he turn around.
Only because he can't guard. So here's the thing. So Shaq couldn't go out and possibly guard the 3-point shooting 5. But there's very few centers or fours in the league that can hold
No,
Shaq.
no,
He's
Game-
going to dunk on them all.
The rules had to be
Every single
changed
one
for
of
all of these 3-point shooting
yeah.
fives. That's the reason we got the 3-point shooting fives. Everybody wants to be a damn point guard that shoots 3-pointers.
Yeah.
And but all right,
Like,
so,
I'm a Memphis fan. I love Jaren Jackson. But you put Jaren Jackson on the block with Shaq.
Oh no, Shaq's gonna destroy
Shaq's
him.
going to score 2 points every single time.
So,
Every
all right, you
single
talk about
time.
the GOAT, right? We talked about the GOAT of basketball. And look, any of those are arguments, and everybody have their own argument, and its opinion. We'll never know what they'd be up against each other. But, I mean, those 3, 5, 6 players are all in discussion. But I heard one today that just blew my mind.
Penny Hardaway.
No, that's the football. I'm switching gears.
Oh, okay.
To football.
I was about to say
They
T-Mac.
suggested that if
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, he's the new GOAT.
Nah.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
Ain't done it long enough, son.
Do it.
I'm sorry. He's good.
Oh, yeah, he's
All right,
good.
all right.
Ain't done it
I
long
think
enough.
Pat Mahomes has more skill than Brady,
Yeah,
but
well,
Tom Brady's more cerebral.
It's a different skill
It's
set.
a different skill set. He's more cerebral than Pat Mahomes.
I mean, yeah, you can't.
Now, like, long term, if Pat Mahomes stays healthy,
Yeah, he's still-
he keeps a
oh,
good
yeah.
team. Like, eventually, he'll
He's
get
got
to
a
that.
shot at it.
He'll get to that point. Right?
Yeah, if his longevity of it,
Yeah.
he'll absolutely pass.
He'll get to that point.
Yes.
Andy Reid can stay alive and healthy and continue to coach the Chiefs.
The two things
They
about
could
those
surpass.
two guys, Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes, they both had elite level coaches.
And they had elite
Yes.
level tight ends. Now, look,
They-
tight ends.
Dude,
no,
that's an
really.
underrated position.
Oh, it's the most underrated.
Well, I'm finna say
Kelce.
something.
You got a son sitting in there that could probably be an awesome
I'm
tight
going
end.
to say
That's
something
true.
unpopular. Is Belichick really a top-rated coach?
I think so.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I
he
think so.
struggled with that. He struggled without Brady. He struggled before Brady.
Yeah, but the
So-
teams that he put together,
But didn't he make the playoffs with Cam Newton?
I still think it's the play calling.
Or
though.
real close to it?
well, but
After the fact?
I think it's the personnel management.
And I'm not so sure Matt Jones hadn't been a bust, and they're going to move
may-
away
well,
from
Matt
it.
Jones. Mac
But-
Jones.
but
not
look,
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Belichick, personnel management, he gets rid of players probably a year before people would have let.
He
they
does.
declined.
Even Brady.
Even Brady.
Yeah.
And so he
Now, he probably could have
I
won
mean,
one
you
more.
could argue that he needs to win one without Brady. All right, I can.
I mean, when you look at his career, he didn't do anything before Brady, and he really hadn't done anything since.
Well, but hell, he had Brady for
But I mean,
20
yeah,
years.
he had him forever.
Yeah.
I mean, he also got fired from the Browns, which a lot of people do. So
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah, how do you
I'm
not
not
get
sure
fired
that.
from
is.
the Browns?
I mean, look how bad Odell looked at the Browns. I mean,
I got a buddy that sells
So
like
then we
the
can all
craziest
agree.
sports memorabilia. His name's Daniel Brown.
If Mahomes wins Super Bowl, he's the GOAT.
no.
no.
Nah.
So who y'all think's win the Super Bowl?
Let's talk about it. Who wants to go first on the Super Bowl pick? I'll
Man,
go.
are we
I'll go
doing
first.
this
I'm
now?
going first. Well, hell, the Super Bowl's the next thing
Let's
we got going
go.
on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll take the Eagles. I'll take the Eagles. I think that this is the pinnacle of the Jalen Hurts story. I think that they have more weapons.
Dude, Jalen Hurts is a beast.
They have more weapons and a better defense.
I'm
than
gonna go
the
Eagles too for the weapons and the defense.
Oh, what you got?
Weapons.
What you got?
I'm going to go with Kansas City because the league wants Mahomes to be the next.
Look,
GOAT.
that last game was ridiculous.
Yeah,
the
that-
officiating was ridiculous.
That's why.
Yeah,
All right,
well,
it's 2 versus 1. DW, you gonna tie it up? You gonna split the house again? We've been known to split.
So do
the
I
house.
got to tell you what I want or what I think's
What
going
you
to happen?
think?
It's however you
think?
feel. Well, it's yours. It's your decision.
I want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Okay, I want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I don't have any NFL favorite team, none of that stuff, because fantasy football, we got too many players.
All right, so
I
you're
can't like
picking
it.
Eagles.
But I think if I had to pick and I had
Yeah,
to
put
put
money
my
on it.
mon-
All right,
money
pick
on it,
one. This is what you're picking. You are
Kansas
picking
City,
one.
Kansas City's going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
All right,
so-
we'll see.
Now, if I had
2-2.
if
We'll see.
I would love to see it go to the end, be a close game, and
Look,
then somehow
Just
the
like I
Eagles pull it
predicted
off.
before the season started, when our first episode, the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Is that what I
Just-
predicted?
Yeah, I think. No.
Bro,
No, it was not.
I don't
Yes,
think
it
we
was.
I
It
think
was
we,
the Green Bay
No,
Packers,
I
wasn't it?
predicted a team from the AFC West would win the Super Bowl. That's what I predicted.
You can't pick a whole.
I
league.
know.
Like,
I
hold on.
did. I was
I
way
was-
ahead of you guys. I predicted a team from the AFC West. I'm gonna go back and play it for
I
you.
just wanted-
You ain't play it for you?
I want you to go back and play where.
So maybe I
every
need
single
to
one of y'all
change.
said
Hey,
Green
hey,
Bay-
Ron.
Well, just say Eagles aren't AFC West anyway.
I picked Aaron
No,
Rodgers
but I
and
was
the Green
changing
Bay
that.
Packers.
I'm going to no. It's who really wins.
I just want all y'all to remember
Bro, I
that
sucked at
Green
my
Bay
opinion.
did not make the playoffs after every single one of
So
y'all said
look,
they make the
Green
Super Bowl.
Bay,
I picked
Aaron
Green Bay. I
Rodgers.
picked Green Bay and the Bills.
I know you did.
Bro, what happened?
I think all y'all picked the Bills.
Aaron
but that was-
Rodgers
Bills
ate
should have
too
been
many
there.
mushrooms and did too much
You know,
like
speaking of
green
Bills,
powder.
The Bills remind me of the Packers in that they are not built for cold weather, even though they're.
You know what they remind me
They're
of?
not.
They remind me of the Bills.
No,
The
the
They're,
Packers
they're
Packers are
just
like that.
almost good enough.
No,
Yes,
the Packers.
almost.
The Packers are not built for cold weather. They've never been. Aaron Rodgers is not a cold weather quarterback.
No.
That's what happened when the Giants beat them.
He's from
those
Cali.
years. Yeah, and the same thing with the Bills. Their team is a high
Well, he's from
powered
North
offense.
Dakota, isn't he?
Yeah, but their offense is high powered. It's high powered passing offense, and that doesn't work very well.
They're just like the Bills have always been. They're just almost.
Who's
quite
the
good
Bills running back?
Bills running back?
enough.
Oh,
Yeah, that's,
Tell me.
That's the point.
But,
Tell me who the Bills
hold on.
running back
The,
is.
the new,
Singletary, Daryl Singletary. There's
Daryl-
two of
yeah.
them.
No,
Then
no.
there's
All right, that's
Nehemiah
my point
Hines.
exactly. You got
Look,
Stephon Diggs who can catch almost anything you throw in his area.
What's
you
the
got
rookie's
Josh
name?
Allen who can chunk the ball
Cook.
forever,
Cook.
probably
James Cook.
further than anybody. Who you got running the
hey,
football?
check this story out.
You got to have some balance
And
in
then
football.
we're going to talk about a couple more stories. I got one more here. A nurse. This is terrible, guys. A nurse with a hangover confesses to killing patients to keep them quiet so he could nap.
Jamie, when did you take a job as a nurse?
Look, hear me out.
Oh my God, you're going to defend this guy.
No, I mean, sometimes you just can't go.
So a nurse has confessed to killing two elderly patients to keep them shut them up while he slept off a hangover in Germany. In Canada, it'd probably be okay. He'd probably claim that
It would be
that they
okay.
wanted
And be like, it's
assisted
sorry,
suicide.
fam.
that's a suicide in Canada, yeah.
You,
I've
you
had
could
some
like
bad
murder
hangovers
some
before.
guy, and if you could prove he really wanted to die,
I mean,
you'd be okay.
hangovers can get pretty bad sometimes, you know.
Dude, they
Prosecutors
suck.
told the court he enjoyed playing doctor but aimed to do as little as possible during his shifts at one of Munich's top hospitals. They also claimed the care worker identified as Mario G. secretly injected deadly cocktails of drugs into
That
his
dude's
patients
from Memphis. It's Mario G.
and enjoyed being in a position of power. One of the survivors. So there was a survivor.
So he just murdered
There
him.
was
I
yeah.
thought like maybe he got tired and smothered him or something. No,
and
he murdered him.
I thought he was just sleeping and just let him die. Like
Yeah,
they're,
no, he apparently injected.
like they were
him.
coding,
Yeah,
and he was like, ah.
The patients were 80 and 89 that died. He said I made a big mistake. No shit.
Go figure, right?
I think he made a mistake the night before, when he had the hangover.
So look, he said I made a big mistake. He added that he usually drinks before his shifts. As I was inebriated,
This
there was
guy's
only
alcoholic,
he
full
says
blown.
as I was inebriated, there was only one option for me to sedate them. He said, and I just overly sedated them. I gave them too much. All right, parting words for tonight, Gary. We in.
So there you go. That's all I got. Oh yeah, what is a beast?
Dang, he didn't give us.
Yeah,
He didn't have any. Y'all didn't have anything funny to talk about. We're playing out.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, go hit the like button. Like us, follow us, love us, hate us, whatever y'all want to do.
Hey, Russia ain't shit.
No.
Oh, walk me to the riverside and lead me.
I've never heard that.
Cause somebody done took from an outlaw. Take my picture down from the courthouse wall. I'm living in the clouds and I ain't gon' fall. Somebody done saved this.
Outlaw.
Jamone.
Jump.